Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight.
Oh!
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey!
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Yay!
Dr. Joy here to spread the holiday joy.
Ho, ho, ho.
So glad to see you. And
Hey.
we're not just here to sing a bunch of awesome songs,
No, that's probably a series in itself.
but it grabs the attention.
But I'm certainly willing and able. All you have to do is just have me come back.
One thing I love about you, there's many things I love about you, Dr. Joy. And for full disclosure, Dr. Joy teaches my 10-year-old piano, and she's been a student since she was 4 or 5.
No, I think at least.
Even more than that.
I think so.
Started out with no instrument to a glockenspiel. Was it a glockenspiel?
It was. You're doing well.
To
Piano.
to the keyboard. But we're here to talk about a community outreach that you do every year. And I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Yes, I think actually, yes, it's been 5. This is the 5th annual Santa's Workshop for Friends of South Florida Music.
And tell me, how did that start? Well, let's talk, let me back up. Let's talk about what we're doing.
Okay. Well, I am the founder and executive director of Friends of South Florida Music, and we are bridging a gap in the music world for students here in Miami-Dade County, birth to 18 years of age, of all abilities. And we provide 30 minutes of free weekly music classes for them year-round to stimulate development in all of the developmental domains. So that's really, the mission is to provide excellent education for children that would not receive this otherwise.
And let's back up for a second. We're going to get into the schools and what's going on. And then we obviously have a pile of toys here. We're going to talk about the toy drive. But to back up for a second, I've always loved talking to you about kind of the science of music and the interaction with the young brain. Mm-hmm. Would you talk a little bit about your research and in your background with that?
Sure. Understanding that the auditory system in a child is fully functional at 24 weeks in utero. It's an honor for the mommies to know that they're the first concert hall for their children, and that is functioning and developing. Once they're born, birth to 1 is the most rapid time of brain development. So these teachers that are in these schools caring for the infants and toddlers, because parents are at work, are really depositing into a child's development at a rapid speed, which I just find, I encourage them every time I talk to them, because they probably should receive a much larger paycheck. And then 1 to 3 is the next highest growth, and then 3 to 5, and then 5 to 9. But the most rapid is the birth to 1, and then the next layer is 1 to 3. So really, by the time child reaches 9, plasticity in the brain has occurred, and we have gone a long ways. It's not to say that children can't learn. It's just to say that those are the things to look out for whenever your child is younger and you want to deposit, because you are building connections in the brain that are unlocking a child's potential. I don't know what your child, Christina, is going to be when she grows up, but I am honored to know that I have been contributing to that because you and your wife chose to put her in a music class. But for the children that we provide music classes to, many of them don't know that this is a positive impact or have the resources to be able to do that. So we choose to go to those areas.
It's fantastic. And it's interesting to me because as the parent of a child, it's an interesting connection because even if there was no brain development impact, I would encourage people to do it because the children enjoy it. And there's something about music, and I often think about how music is like it separates us from the animals in some respects. I don't like. There's just something about music. You see the little kids and the way they move and the joy that happens with it. Like it's just like it's like such a human thing to sit and enjoy music and to dance together and to make noise together. And I think it's just wonderful that you're spending the time, making sure that everyone has access to this education and this joy, the joy of music. It opens up a lifetime of even just enjoyment of music.
Absolutely.
So tell me about, that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of resources. How do you fund those activities? How do you make that happen?
Well, we are always looking for people who would like to invest in our program. We look for private donations, and then we write grants to be able to provide the funding for what we do. I believe that people are generous and they're looking for places to give where they know that their money is being well invested. And so it's an honor to have people beside us because they can come in and visit us at any time and see what we're about. And now that we are we've passed through 6 years on the 27th of December. This year, currently, we have over 1,355 children who are receiving this music instruction weekly, and over half of them are year-round because their schools never close. So we could be doing this 52 weeks of the year. And I believe that those who are investing in us and depositing into these children's lives are very inspired by what they see occurring, and it just generates more.
And then tell me how that brings us to the toy drive, the origin of the toy drive. How did that grow out of the music education?
Well, it wasn't something that I had planned on doing, as comes with most things in the education world whenever you sign up to be a teacher. But we are vested in developing the child. And we realized that in the one school that we were at very early on, it was commented to me many times that those children would not have any Christmas presents in the coming weeks when Christmas arrived.
And part of this is a reflection of the economic circumstances, and I guess many of them are foster children.
Well, this was in a very under-resourced community, and people were struggling, and for various reasons and variables. And so when you think about that, it was an opportunity that we were in the middle of, because I was at that particular school providing the music classes, and I thought, I think we can have a solution to this. And so we found some people who donated, and we bought a very large amount of footballs and something for the girls, and then we took them in, and that started.
So it started at one school.
Just one school.
And here we are 5 years later. How many schools are we servicing?
Six schools. 3 have already received their toys. Over 650 toys will be delivered within 4 days. And this year, we also have many, many Publix gift cards that some generous donors have given to provide the families with Christmas breakfast or Christmas dinner, something to make sure that their tummies would be full on Christmas Day. And so that's amazing. And
name the schools for me. Let's go through the schools.
Arcola Lake Elementary School that's in Brownsville, just north of Liberty City. We have Future Leaders of Tomorrow Academy, which is in Florida City. Kinder Kids 3 Preschool and Learning Center that's in Florida City. We have Promised Land Academy and Therapy that's in Homestead. We have Pine Villa Elementary that's in Naranja. And we have Kinder Kids 2 Preschool and Learning Center that's also in Naranja. So there are 6 that are currently receiving.
One of the things for me is I've never visited any of these schools. I haven't gone with you to deliver the presents, but I have spent time with the students and talked to the students about their experience. So I'd like to talk a little bit about, the experience that the people who give have. Because one of the things I've seen is once those kids, you're a very persuasive person to get people to participate. But I've seen that when people do go to the school, when these kids go, and these are younger kids, they always want to go back. Tell me a little bit about the music students' involvement in this.
We're very fortunate to have a group that's called the Friends of South Florida Music Ambassadors. That was started under the leadership of a student whose name is Cecile Etzbach. And Cecile came to me and said, after she's watched much of this, I think you need some help. And I said, okay, what do you think?
I don't disagree.
What do you think I need help with? I would love to hear this answer coming from a middle schooler. And so she decided that the students needed to have a subgroup to be able to support the mission of Friends of South Florida Music, have activities for them where they could earn community service hours for their school, give their gift of music back to other children, help to raise needed funding. And so they have been instrumental in gift wrapping, getting community service hours, inviting their friends, and then they are invited to go with me to the schools that will allow the children to come in. It's a little harder in some, but we have 4 of the 6 that we can do that. So they actually get to come in and bring toys like we see here today, call the children's name out, sit with them, put their name on the toy, and they get to watch this be in action. They're inspired. Children they're just not born with this. We have to create opportunities for them. And I love watching them get so excited and then sit with these children and open the gifts and put their names on and then ask me, what else can we do? And talk to their friends and invite more friends to come and participate. It really just feeds on itself, and then they become more experienced. They want to take on more leadership roles. Our senior this year started a food for thought program in the Promised Land School as a pilot with us. She's now a Silver Knight candidate for Miami-Dade. What could be better?
Yeah, I think I've seen it with the young kids as they come up. I'm with you. It's not a natural thing for a child to think like, what can I do to help others, right? We deal with that at home with the children, the chores. You try to teach them you're part of a family unit. You do this, we all chip in. And, not just to be a receiver, but to be a giver. And I see that with these children as they come through. It's very interesting because it's like all kids love and getting gifts. And I think it's an interesting opportunity for them to go. And they almost intuitively understand that something nice is happening here, that these kids are so appreciative of what's happening. They're getting something they wouldn't otherwise get. Right. And I think it's so interesting because it's that thing of, they always say, it sounds trite, but it's so true, like the giver gets more than the getter, type thing. And in this circumstance, it's like the symbiosis of the entire situation. I think when I talk to the young people, and I'm talking, the 12-year-olds that are involved in it, it does make an impact, and I think that's why they want to go back every year. It's fun, and I think that they get to, experience what we experience as parents, right? Christmas morning's fun because you get to give your kid things that they enjoy, and I think that at 12 years old, it's a unique experience to be able to share that joy.
I agree. When my children were younger and I did work in the inner city of Miami, I always took them with me, and for various reasons. But one of the reasons was when we got home, they were so grateful that they had a bed to sleep in and they had shoes that fit their feet. And it decreased the amount of I wants because we could talk about that.
See, that's a selling point to you parents. Decreasing I wants is very difficult.
It is very difficult because we're a very demanding society of, consumers. And so it was for me, I love being the giver because I give not expecting things in return. I just give. I love to give. So this isn't about me collecting toys at my house, and they need to go with me because then the stories that I tell them, they see they're true.
Right. They resonate because they see the joy.
And then they talk about that with other people like I would be talking to them. And it comes full circle because how on earth are we going to leave? I do try to live my life to be missed and not remembered.
Interesting.
And so one of the ways to be able to do that is to make this impact on these children's lives so that maybe when something comes up in their life, they'll think and remember something in their life that will help them to make a different decision or to be a giver. We're cultivating more generous givers because they have been inspired.
I love the inspiration side of this, and I want to. It was interesting. I was having a conversation and putting together an article about this that's going to be in community newspapers, and I was talking to Penelope, one of the parents, and she said something that in 5 years I'd never heard someone say, which was, "There's so much noise this time of year. There's this frantic pace, and it's so easy to lose sight of what this is about, what this holiday is about, and what we should be doing with celebrating the holiday, which is giving and making the world a better place." And she said it was such a, I have friends that will do Thanksgiving, serve Thanksgiving at a homeless shelter and things like that. The same idea of let's just take a moment and reflect on this. And I think with these kids and with these parents that are involved in this, I was really struck by that idea of it really is a good way to focus people's actually, it's all great to have these parties. It's great end of the year. We get some time off. We get to spend time together. But really, what is the focus of this holiday? So
I agree.
Tell me, one of the things I always think about is as a lawyer and a businessman is the logistics of this. So the logistics are getting presents, delivering presents. I want to focus on getting the presents. How do you get people involved in giving money, getting involved? What can people do to help out? Let's say someone's listening to the program and they're like, it's not a bad idea, right? Everything's going into these kids, turning in these presents. If someone wanted to get involved, how does that work?
Well, the buying the presents is a very methodical mission for me. So I'm very particular about what we buy and give to the students because I need everything to be the same for all the boys in one classroom and all of the girls in one classroom. Because number one, the children that we serve live with a lot of disappointment. And I refuse to intentionally deposit into disappointments for these children. So, for example, the basketballs that you see here on the table, all of our kindergarten and first grade students the boys are getting a basketball. Now, I did have one girl yesterday.
I love it. Astro basketball.
Friday, yes. She was so sweet. And I have to admit, if that would have been me, I would have very politely been looking at the basketballs and the toy that the girls got and thinking, because I played basketball. So after we noticed that she wasn't really engaging with her toys, she said to me, Dr. Joy, and I said, yes. And she said to me, I really like that basketball.
Oh,
And so we kind of surveyed the area and noticed that the other girls were all really happy with their basketballs, because I do have some extras, but I don't have enough to
yeah.
give all of the girls.
Yeah.
And so one of the adults that was with me said, what are you going to do? That's always the question. What are you going to do? I've been asked that so many times in my life. And so I said, well, I have a basketball. I'm going to give her one.
Love it.
And so the adults all walked away from that situation. I said, but first you can't do that until you observe what's going on in the climate of your room.
Yep.
Because I know what extras I have. My car right now is very full of extras.
I can vouch that I've seen your
Yes.
Honda Odyssey stuffed to the gills,
Very
full
full.
of presents.
With extras, because I never know where the siblings are. And if somebody's sibling comes to school, I'm going to give them a toy to put under the tree. People give me those. That's what's in a lot in my car. Anyway, so back to the toys. So I would prefer not to have toys at this point, because I could give them to the siblings if they come along. But toys for me can't have batteries, because the life of the toy is no longer in existence once the batteries are gone.
Yes.
I can't give games for toys, because I don't know that someone's going to play with the child.
Yeah.
So there are all these things that go into purchasing an age-appropriate toy that can have creativity, that can be engaging for the student. I would love people to sponsor a child. Things, as we all know, are more expensive. And so I'm always asking for, would you like to sponsor one toy, $10, $15? We're still looking for a few sponsors.
That's great. So
And-
so let's talk about that, because I think that's part of it. I think it's a great explanation. And I think most people, you wouldn't think about the logistics of the classroom that someone gets the Nike basketball versus the Spalding, right? It needs to be the same for everybody.
Everybody.
So the idea is we need money. Money's got to come in the door. How would someone, if they listen to this and they think that's not a bad idea, 100% of money I'm giving is going to turn into a present. Dr. Joy is not making gas money off of this.
I'm not making, and I will guarantee you that 100% of what you give goes back to the children. I'm very transparent
So if
about
someone wanted
that.
to go, where would they go?
Well, they go to friends, like you're my friend with an S, friends of sfm.org. And you can go to that website and you can click on the donation link, and a donation of any size, $5, $10. And I think we're even going to put up a QR code.
The QR code is up
If you
on
go
the
to,
screen
if
for
you click on that with your phone, that you can, like you would in a restaurant, then that will take you to our link tree, and you can see how to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and how to give a donation. And we would love for you to be a part of the Friends of family. So if you want a newsletter and we can send you that, they come out once a month. Happy to do that. info@friendsofsfm.org. Lots of ways to connect with us.
One of the things I love about this is there's tons of toy drives, and then we need more toy drives. This toy drive is a little bit unique in that somebody who is giving these children a service. Like, to me, it's almost like a furtherance of the trust and the love and the collaboration with these children. Is, you're part of their lives, and you're bringing in these toys as part of that. I like that idea. It's not just somebody coming off the street, which is great. I don't want to downplay that, but it's someone that's investing in them, and they're seeing a further investment of, hey, we're here at Christmas, and here's what we want you to have. And so I think it's wonderful. I think it is unique how you're trying to, address that need as part of the bigger struggle to get these kids the services that they need.
There isn't anything better. This morning we were at 2 schools, and watching them open their own gift. We can't assume that they're going to have their own gift, that it's going to be theirs, and putting their name on the basketball. This is my basketball. And then watching the first graders this morning dribble all around the room and count for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the one little boy got up to 34 and then he stopped dribbling. He says, I don't know anymore. But he made it to 34. So we're having math and Eric Spolstra. He needs to watch out because I have a few pictures to send him of, I think, upcoming Heat members that are going to be breaking down his door. And we also give the teachers a gift, the teachers and the therapist, when we go into the room, because I love teaching, been doing it for 39 years. And the teachers that are out there doing this every day, I just want to say thank you to them. I'm grateful. I've committed my life to education, and so you're trying to model what you believe in.
Well, I think it's wonderful, and I think that one thing I want you to do is, let's talk a little bit about the piano program in general. I know that about that also through my daughter. So the idea is you teach piano.
I do.
And you've been doing that for a long time.
I've actually been doing that since I was 13 years old.
And
red lipstick is really something strange.
Why?
Because you just get it all over yourself. See?
So I want to talk about the piano because you do the Guild every year.
I do.
And it's a big part of our life. We sit down. My daughter has to make a decision about what are the different levels.
Well, there's regional, state, national, international.
And international. Mm-hmm. So I think we've always done national. So she chooses the number of songs that she does.
She does 10 to be a national member. She's done that for 5 years.
Yeah.
So she is a member of a national organization. She's been that for very young. We're building longevity, commitment, dedication. Things that are very important to one's resume package, but it also is just a great way for them to make a commitment, to see a goal, to accomplish the goal, to have national recognition. There's so many pieces in that for me that are important over time, because I know what gets looked at in the long run, and I want them to use their love of music for something that's going to help them over time.
I bring it up because all of the ambassadors are piano students.
They are.
And again, I find it interesting the connectivity of they come see you once a week. They participate in this rigorous program, this demanding piano program, and then they see you doing more with the music, right? What is their teacher doing? Their teacher's taking this to get it to underserved kids. And then they serve as part of that process, right? They can plug in onto that. So I just bring it up. Like I just want to thank you for all you do to give our children that opportunity, right? To give these kids a unique opportunity to see that, and then to see music, first of all, as a career, right? Dr. Joy has made a career out of teaching music. They see it as something that you can do. It's a skill set to have. And two, just the symbiotic relationship of recognizing in their world how their music can touch people. And I know you guys do concerts, fundraising concerts.
We do. And 30 of the ambassadors have been asked to come back and sing the national anthem at the January 12th Heat game. And we love doing that activity. And the Marlins, they already have us booked for July the 7th. And our rock and roll party is going to be on September 9th. And so there's a lot of different events for these children.
And anyone listening, I will tell you, my daughter's participated in both of those, and it's going to be at these upcoming ones. It blows the kids away. It is not lost on them. The opportunity to sing an anthem.
There's nothing like being able to walk onto the Heat court and stand in the center while those men, those athletes, are warming up, and they all look at them and say, wow, they are really big. And we thank them for inviting and allowing us to bring students to have that experience. I'm taking some of my Arcola Lake elementary students. Have one sponsor, looking for another one to give those children the opportunity to come to a heat game that they would never get to. And they're going to sit with us.
Love it.
And they're going to be a part of Friends of South Florida Music in a different way, not just in the classroom, but at the Heat Arena. So if somebody would like to give some of those children a ticket, I would love you to go to that site and help us get the final 10. There's 10 more seats that need to be sponsored for that school, and they are so excited.
Oh, I can't imagine. That is again another great opportunity. I want to thank you for the opportunity to brag on you a little bit. You know, I love all the different aspects of this and how it comes together. So thank you for being here, and thanks for spending this time with us.
You're welcome. Are we going to sing a song together?
I was just going to say, you got to take us out with a song.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Come on, everybody. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Oh, we're counting down. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
You nailed it, Dr. Joy. Thank you.